Hello.
Welcome back. This is episode 8.
We made it. Made it to 8.
8 is...
You got something for 8?
8 is like 2 threes giving each other a hug.
Couldn't have said it better.
It's all about love. And
Totally.
I like it. Just like today's episode.
Music.
Music.
I love music.
We're doing a new thing. We're going to be doing top 5s.
Let's try some top 5s.
So today I'm going to be giving my top 5 albums of all time. Now, maybe not in any particular order. Of course, these things change. But these are 5 albums that I would say are amongst my favorite of my favorite of my favorite. Do you know what I'm saying?
Dialed in.
You're dialed in.
Dialed in.
So we're going to do that. We're going to talk a little bit just about music in general to begin. And then we're going to do some music recommendations.
Let's do a bunch of it's a whole music episode.
It's about music.
I'm all about it, too.
So when it comes to music, we're actually both musicians. You more than me. So you're probably more inclined in musicianship.
We both do music.
But we both do music. And what I like about music is I feel like music is a mood-enhancing thing. Would you agree?
Totally.
I feel like there's times...
It's also a mood-altering thing.
And I think the reason it does that, it could just be instrumental type music that gets you into a good mood. I want to say it's like 96 BPMs is like the vibration of the human body. So if you like listen to music at that BPM, it actually gets in tune with like your vibrations. Have you ever heard that?
I have heard that, but I don't know if it's 96 or whatever.
I made it up. It sounded random enough to be accurate.
I've heard things about the like they have those fucking the bowl or whatever, and you just run the rim, and it's like a whole that kind of thing. It doesn't make that noise. It does like a whoa.
Yeah.
That's like a GIF right there, dude. One of those.
Yeah.
Anyway,
We need to catch a solid meme, dude. Memes are
We need a
taken.
meme.
Like there's musicians, Lil Nas X.
yeah.
So his whole success has been attributed to the fact that he made that song knowing that he could make it into like a sub meme.
I had
and then
read that.
memes are what's shared more than anything.
Mhm.
So let's not get too into memes. It's about music, right? But music, memes, there's synergy there. So it's about mood enhancing. So I guess like when you hear like let's say tribal people doing the drum beats, I would imagine that drum beat is somewhere near the BPM that we're talking about. Because I think when they do those rain dances, when they do those chants, those are like ceremonial, ritualistic. They probably go back hundreds, if not thousands of years. So I think they got it tuned in. Because when I listen to that music, I feel like one with nature. You know what I'm saying?
That shit's tight.
It puts
I
me
like that stuff.
out of my head. So I like that. But when it comes to music with lyrics there's even a deeper sense of possible mood enhancing or helping you out, because these are people sharing their feelings through song with you. And it's great to hear a song if you're
feel
down that you can
lyrics
relate to.
Or music, the melody itself hits you more? That's a tough one.
I feel like music, just like I've talked about drugs, is a tool sometimes.
I think the melody catches me more. I think lyrics can help steer, or you could find some lyrics that you find profound. But I think that the melody itself is probably what does something more for me.
I think from an artistic perspective, it's both. But I mean, from my perspective, I would say the lyrics. Because that's really what I enjoy doing most is writing lyrics. So I think maybe that's why I'm biased.
But the touching, I think that like you could have lyrics that are amazing, but just music itself
harmonies
is influential to emotion. I mean, I guess lyrics are too. I mean, I guess we could see both sides of the coin. I don't think there's a loser in that.
I started with the drum beats, and then I kind of went right into the lyrics, but I also forgot, and I'm glad I remembered.
Nice.
You know what I'm saying? There's actually a note that I believe it was Beethoven or Mozart, one of these old classical musicians, that when played, they had like 27 people in a class play these notes all at once, and like 50% of the class started crying because the note hits you on such an emotional level.
Yeah, I've heard of stuff like that. They can do that with a few different notes. They can trigger something in the brain. Makes sense?
So, I mean, obviously, we don't have to explain more why it's a mood enhancer. It just works on so many levels, whether it be the lyrics, whether it be the melodies, whether it be the BPMs. Another thing about music is when you talk about things like festivals, you talk about concerts, there's a huge bonding experience around music. When you're in a car, the right song comes on, everyone's excitable.
There's something about it.
There's stories. People say, "Oh, that's whatever." What is that show? What is that movie? White Boys, White Girls.
What happens in the?
They sing that song. Taking my way downtown. You know what I'm saying? Like, most people remember that part of the movie.
That's a left field reference to pull from.
It was weird.
We're in the same spot.
But
We're
also, I wrote down a few things that music are involved with that I like. You know what I mean? Going into battle.
Yeah.
Before Vikings go into battle.
Do the drums.
Like, and then it gets them all psyched out.
Yeah.
They chant before football games start or when football teams are down and out.
I would wager that
chant.
most, not just Vikings, but most civilizations, if you go further enough, use it to enhance the aggression or just get people hyped and in the mood.
Yeah. I've never done a rain dance or been a part of one, but let's just assume they work. Nature is responding to music. I don't know, but I don't know.
We're having a good time.
I don't know. Ayahuasca ceremonies, they usually have a shaman that's beating music, and evidently when you take ayahuasca, you have these visuals, and the shamans are able to do beats that can actually motivate the trip that you have.
It gears it in.
Yeah, it's almost like the deities within the trip like dance to the music and they vibrate to it. That's interesting. But more than anything, the reason that I like music is it's an escape from reality in general for me. I could listen to a song, take myself completely out of a moment. I could listen to a song and put myself back in a moment. So I guess it's not escaping reality, it's focusing reality.
That's what I was going to say. Sometimes it makes you aware of something more on the lyrical content side of something. Like, I like a lot of old school punk things, and they're kind of anti-government and stuff, and that's kind of what gets you into that thought process from where I came from. So I think that it opens stuff up too sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, I would say that a lot of who we are, some of us at least, could be determined on the musical choices we made as a kid, right? I think that's fair. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over my top 5 albums that I put together. A lot of people have been waiting on this. I know, sorry for the lag. But I'm going to go through it and I'm going to tell you why these are my top 5 albums. And if you've heard of them, join in. Number 1, Thrice, Identity Crisis.
Was that the first one that they came out with?
The blue one with the fetus on the cover. It had Phoenix, Ignition, Ultra Blue.
So it's not the 4 one. It's not the one with Ambulance?
Artist in the Ambulance.
That was like fucking 20 years ago.
Artist in the Ambulance. This album, I want to say, came out in 2001, maybe.
I listened to them because it was in the group, and they're badass. I didn't really buy too many records, but I always thought they were really sick. Yeah, the first time I saw them was like some footage at like Warped Tour or some shit.
Yeah,
badass.
I played drums when I was younger, and I just thought it was cool because like I would always look into the drummers of the bands, and the guy's name is Riley Breckenridge. And he only started playing drums because his brother was in a band and he fucked up his knee playing football. And he just decided, hey, drums might be safer. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, cool.
So I thought that was cool. And they're just incredible musicians. When I was in 9th grade, one of my good friends was the president of their fan club, passed me on some of their music. And it's just, I don't know. I could listen to that album at any point in my life or at any time and just get excited, go back to those memories, and it's great.
You know what's funny is I went to see a few bands at a Warped Tour, and Thrice couldn't play because the drummer either broke or sprained or did something to his back.
In Long Beach?
Yeah.
And it was acoustic?
Yeah.
I was there.
Really?
Crazy.
Dude.
We were there together, dude. So obviously our first concert together was Thrice. Me and my wife actually recently went to see Thrice. And it was with another band. I think it was like Beyond the Horizon. One of these bands that I've never heard of. I don't even know if I just said it right. But it's like a real millennial type new age music. And it was cool as fuck live. I don't know if I listened to it in my car. But the only thing that kind of sucked was Thrice's, all their music is amazing, but they have like an evolution in their sound. And like as time goes on, they get way more artistic in their lanes of like musicianship. So
I think that's natural.
Which is natural.
That's good.
They go off in crazy tangents, which is also great. But
They're cool.
I don't think they played one song off of the Identity Crisis album.
I saw them with Thursday. I think they did a tour years ago or something like that. I'm not exactly sure, but I had seen them before. I think it was the one with Thursday. And they were badass, but I didn't hear a lot of stuff that I remember listening to in high school.
Yeah, it was kind of cool because the show was in Southern California, and they stopped the set and they said, hey, we know we got a lot of old school heads in the crowd that listened to us for years, and they played Deadbolt, which is like one of their fucking best songs. So that was cool. So number 2. So the reason about Thrice, I think I explained that thoroughly. Number 2 is Genelec and Memphis Reigns. Know you know them. Scorpion Circles. Perfect. So it's 2 gentlemen that have a hip-hop crew. Genelec is a producer and a writer/rapper. Memphis Reigns is a rapper, writer, and so forth and so on. And they made this album when they were in college. They produced it and everything themselves. And the reason it's my number 2, A, is because I had never in my life heard people lyrically speak the way that they spoke. It was before I heard Eminem or anything like that, and how they were rhyming words, the context. It was like classic, and the way they sample beats. I never heard hip hop like that. It was classical music with hip hop beats with like Shakespearean writing, and really that album is what got me into even writing. I wrote lyrics before that, but I never considered hip hop because it always felt not me. But that album right there made me feel like I could be hip hop to some degree. And still, I mean, I actually became somewhat friends with Memphis Reigns, or at least I met him a few times. He's cool. I got his phone number. You know what I'm saying? So that's cool. I can call him.
I got stories like that
right now.
It feels good, bro.
Right now, bro. So that's really cool. So Jenna Like a Memphis Reigns really pivoted the direction of my life when I heard that album as a musician and as a fan of music. So that's my number 2.
Should I throw in halfway through? Should I throw 2 right now?
So that's number 2. And before I get back to my list, we got recommendations.
Aside from the recommendations, because here's the thing. We talked about doing 5 of our top, and there's just no way. I like way too many things, so that's just impossible. But as you're going, I'm trying to think of records that are influential. So the first one I'll go with is Refused. Everything they did was amazing. Are you familiar with Refused?
I'm not.
They had so the best record that they put out, most commercial one, is The Shape of Punk to Come. And it is just an amazing record for, I would say, if you're the guitar and the drum duality. The idea that I do a thing, you do a thing, and they match. It was sexy. There's no other way to put it.
Is it like that double down beat, like that escape? I'm like that kind of beat, or what?
Well, they come from an element of punk, and they were considered. The singer Dennis Leakson was considered in one of the first hardcore bands ever in like the early '80s or something called Step Forward. That's obviously debatable depending on what you call hardcore, but they were fucking amazing. And then they went on to do Refused, and they've had a couple different guitarists, always extremely influential. And they just sounded amazing. I think their best record is Songs to Fan the Flames of Discontent, which is the record before Shape of Punk to Come. But if you have not heard that and you're into, like guitar, drum stuff, like the Thrice thing.
Or if you're not, this might get you into it.
I fucking dig that too.
Right.
First time I ever heard it, we had ditched school. It was the first time I ever really ditched. So we went up to the hill. That's what we called it, the hill, because it was on a hill. And we had some beers.
I thought it might be an ironic thing. Like maybe it was a hole.
Sometimes.
That you guys dug.
It could be the top of the hill, but we just stayed on the hill. Anyway, that's one. That's one. Another one is F-. Now, that is my all-time favorite punk band. And they're actually from your neck of the woods.
I've heard of F-.
They're from your neck of the woods. It's just like straight, like just that kind of screaming. Fast. And it's a dude, Brad Logan. And that was my guy that I said that I had met him later. I was on a tour with the Addicts. My band was playing with the Addicts. And Brad Logan just happened to be at one of these shows. And I just fucking was just like, dude, I'm like, fucking love F. I just kept saying F-, bro, F-. It was just like, he must have been like, yes, F-. But either way.
Take my number, shut up.
No, actually, I met him a few more times, and we just talked about jamming, which to me was crazy. We still never have, because he's in another band called Leftover Crack, which is another band that's pretty badass.
Could explain why he can't jam with you.
No, he's
There's
actually
a lot of Leftover Crack.
Brad Logan is on his game, dude. That's a smart
Straight
cat.
edge. A lot of people in the punk
He doesn't
scene,
drink. I tried to buy him a beer. He said he doesn't, so I bought him a water. But he's a really nice. He's like the nicest guy I've ever met.
Kind of an asshole. Sold you water at a bar, dude.
I bought the water, but I bought a beer too. So those are my 2. Not too much to say about the F- thing. It's just when first time I heard it, it was just something that called to me.
So my neck of the woods being what?
You're from Long Beach, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's in Long Beach. I'm not exactly sure where, but where
he's
from.
Is he in any other bands? I remember All Day was the big one.
Ton of bands. Rancid wrote a song about Brad Logan. He's just been in it forever, and he's traveled with a bunch of bands. When the Adolescence guitarist died, he covered for him.
Steve Soto?
He's been around, dude. He has been around.
Is that Steve Soto? That was the guitarist?
I believe it was Steve Soto, yes.
Yeah, the guy who did my whole right arm of tattoos was like, he did Dwayne Peters.
Yeah.
He did like the eagle on his chest. He was good friends with Steve Soto. He actually passed away a while back too. But yeah, he was in the Cadillac Tramps. Right?
Yeah.
That was like another one of his
Brad
Manic
gets
Hispanic.
around. He gets around.
Manic Hispanic, I think, was one of them.
Really badass band. If you dig punk music or kind of like fast, just aggression screaming, it's got him screaming and 2 other chicks. Like everybody screams.
If you're into listening to a chick scream.
That's what got me into it first was a chick, Erica Daking, who's on there. The way she screams was sick. And then Jen Johnson. And then I was just like, dude, Brad Logan.
BL, bro. He just needs a T.
Brad Logan, dude. All right, so you go for 2 now.
Okay. Number 3. So we don't got to recap. Rewind the shit if you don't remember. All right? Number 3, Nirvana, Nevermind.
Yeah, I don't know anybody who wouldn't say that was somewhat influential if you went through that time.
Yeah, so I actually didn't listen to Nirvana until I was in maybe 3rd or 4th grade, and Kevin Brulio,
That's when it came out, right?
He's a fucking,
Because I was a kid when that came out, and I remember thinking this is badass. But I was also in like the 2nd or 3rd grade.
I think I was older then. I think I was like, I must have been in 5th or 6th grade, and it'll make sense when what year did he kill himself?
Fuck if I know.
I think it was
the
like
year
90,
it came out, right?
95.
The year the record came out.
No, because they've had In Utero. They had other records after that.
They were around and did records, but when Nevermind came out, I believe he was homeless or something. He was having a hard time or some shit like that.
No, you're thinking about Sublime, dude.
Was he homeless when that came out?
I don't know, but let's not divert too damn much.
Anyway, Nirvana.
Regardless, no, you know what? Nevermind was an early record. That was like their breakthrough. So
that was their last record. I think.
I thought
Bleach.
No, it wasn't. Bleach was their first album on Sub Pop, and then I think they had one more, possibly something Asylum, possibly on Sub Pop.
I don't know of anything past Nevermind.
And then Nevermind, there was In Utero with Heart Shaped Box. There was Unplugged, which they did way after Nevermind came out. And I believe there might be one more, but In Utero for sure.
I stand corrected.
For sure it's after. But the reason I know this is because I didn't actually even hear Nirvana. It must have been 5th or 6th grade. And this guy, Kevin Brulio, he told me, dude, did you hear the news? I was like, nah, pimp. This was pre-Instagram, so of course I didn't hear the news. And he's like, oh, Kurt Cobain killed himself. I'm like, fair enough, dude. Who the hell is that? He told me. And then I was friends with them, and he showed me some of their music, and I was like, wow, dude, I need to buy like everything they've ever made right now. So it got me super into Nirvana. I ended up buying all their albums. I became a huge fan. And before that, I think all I really was listening to, like my first album I ever got was Green Day Dookie. No. Smashing Pumpkins. Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness, I believe. And then I got Green Day Dookie. But when I got Nirvana, that kind of rocked my world. So that's number 3. And I didn't even hear about him until after the guy died. I always kind of thought that sucked, but who cares now? It's been a while. I still enjoy their music. And,
it happens.
Number 4, AC/DC, Back in Black.
Yeah.
I'm going to you first for thoughts. That's why it's that weird.
I know. I was curious if you were going to,
Every time I'm just going to look at you. You got the floor first. What do you think?
Crazy. Yeah, dude. Well, I personally think that Angus Young, the way he solos, there's just such a unique, simplistic, also amazing style to it. I don't want to say simple because that sounds lame. But it's just
takes a genius.
There's something to
make
the simplicity.
Incredible simple though.
And the way he rips too. I'm not saying it's simple. It's hard to describe, but from a guitar standpoint, it's just really, really good. And what I always thought was cool with AC/DC, breaking it away from that record specifically, is that they had one singer and then another singer, and they both sound very, very similar. Was it like Bon Scott and then like Brian something?
Armstrong, I believe.
Is it?
Something like that.
But they both sound cool. So anyway, so your thoughts on why that's
Bon Scott died in like the late 70s or early 80s or something, right? It was like pretty...
Yeah, dude.
Before we were even born. So, AC/DC, Back in Black. The reason that is on my top 5, obviously their music is badass. It has a lot of amazing songs on it. But around the time I was learning how to play drums, I needed some music that was on the simpler side when it comes to drums. So Creedence Clearwater Revival is one of them.
Creedence is dope.
But AC/DC, I believe their drummer didn't even play a fill, which when you play drums, there's like 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Anything in between that is considered like a fill. Do you know what I'm saying? He didn't even play a fill until like the 3rd album or something like that.
Yeah.
So when you listen to their music, I mean, you don't even got to play the drums to knee drum it. You know what I'm saying?
You're like, dude, this is...
So that was the first album I could listen to on my headphones and be on stage with the band, not missing a beat. You know what I'm saying? It gave me real good timing and drums, so I appreciate it for that. And also, I mean, come on, you got Back in Black, you got Highway to Hell.
Is really good.
You got
I think Highway to Hell before
Have a Drink on Me. No, I think it was the intro song to it. No, I'm sorry, Hell's Bells.
Wasn't it Thunderstruck?
Hell's Bells is the intro song to it. So it's
Thunderstruck
Hell's Bells,
was sick too.
Yeah.
The whole record, if you're into that, it's really good.
I think it's Hell's Bell. I don't know if Thunderstruck.
I'm just saying Thunderstruck is on the record. I don't know where it is, but it's on.
On the record? It's on a record.
It's on that record. I don't know where in the order of it.
I would imagine that's an opening song though.
Sounds like an opening song.
And Hell's Bells. What? Because I looked at it before this because I wanted to. I knew it was
retain it.
Yeah, I want to retain
it.
And then the last one. I'm gonna get to the last one.
Do it.
So I was thinking, because number 5 was hard, dude. Number 5 was challenging to think of. And I thought, all these albums have a lot of meaning to me. For one reason or another. You know? You know. You know what I'm saying? Look it up. So...
Oh, no, those are the hashtags, bro.
And I thought, I'm a musician. So, how could an album that I've made not be on my top list and not have the same amount of meaning in my life that these have? So that's the reason. Upwards is a name I go by when I make music, my AKA, and I made a mixtape. I made an album, like a professional album with the guy. He did music with like Ice-T and all these people, but it was super produced. I didn't really feel like it was authentically me. But after that, I made an album called DNA, and the whole objective was I'd go to your house, you show me a beat, and we write to it on the spot, and we record it at your house because I only went to people's houses that had recording gear. And it was like 12 songs, a lot of people on it, and I felt like it was super underproduced. It wasn't even mixed properly. It was pretty rough. There was not a lot of ad-libs on it. And in my opinion, if I were to put music into the world that represented the vibe I wanted underground hip-hop to encompass, that would be the album. I actually got one of the songs on Shady 45. They do Love It or Hate It. Have you ever heard that? Where they play a song and people call in and say, yo, I love it. Or, yo, I hate it. About. So I actually submitted one of the songs called Enigma. And it was on there. And people just want to say, oh, it sounds like Eminem. You're a white boy, this and that. I was like one vote away from them loving it. And it's fucked up because when they call in, they say they hate it. Like, yo, you need to throw that shit away, man. You suck, blah, 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 whatever.
What is with people being so mean?
I would be nice. Like, oh, man, you obviously don't know good music. Next. And they would like...
I would be nice to say...
And then they would three-way in with like a producer. Be like, hey, man, you got to be meaner to these people, man. You got to tell them to like, fuck off. Just like your dick. Like, you got to tell them something different, dude. Like, this is entertaining. And after that, I was like, oh, okay. So when they said something, I was like, hey, yeah, go eat a bag of shit next. Like, you know what I'm saying? But what we did is me and a buddy of mine, Joey the Mastermind Hyphenate, we actually recorded a song called Hate It or Love It and did nothing but talk shit to the people calling in saying they hated it and to the whole concept of people that are sitting on their couch that have never done anything creative judging you musically. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that actually also got on the radio station and did horrible. Most people hated it. It's hard. It's hard to make fun of someone and then say, "Do you like it?"
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
It's gonna be rough.
So it was more of like a "fuck you." Fair enough. So those are my top 5 albums.
Okay, so here's one. Bad Brains. It's another punk band.
They're all African American, which is cool.
They're really dope.
But there is like, you know, there's not a lot of punk bands, and I don't think people would ever think that. But like, I remember the first time I saw them,
and in '82,
and I'm not, you know, I'm not racist or nothing, but it tripped me out, and I thought it was super dope. And then when you hear them, it's like, fuck yeah.
Yeah, if you haven't heard them, and again, a lot of these are geared towards punk. That was kind of, I mean, because talking about influential stuff, that's kind of where I started. I think a lot of people in bands that end up playing guitar, drum style music, maybe percentage-wise, start with punk because of the simplicity. But Bad Brains, it changed like a thought process with it. We found it when we were kids, or like not kids, but we were like 16. My buddy bought a Jimmy, like a GMC Jimmy or whatever those are.
I thought you meant like a condom.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes you gotta get a Jimmy hat, bro.
You got a Jimmy, bro.
I got a pimp. But so
the radio.
We found this tape. It was a yellow tape. I still have it under the seat, and it was a Bad Brains tape. And we're like, what is this? Then we pop it in, and we just started partying ever since. And yeah, Bad Brains. Not a whole lot to say aside from if you dig punk and you haven't heard them, listen to that shit. It's really cool. Kind of fell off the longer you go, and they're way different now. They turn into like metal-ish kind of. Not to talk shit about the same band I'm pumping, but the first one that they ever did was amazing. And I played a show with him once with HR. He's the singer. So pumped. It was like something like meaningful to me. Yeah. And with that, the whiskey, we played, talking with his whole band. HR's not there, and they're just like, you know, he's always late. He just comes when he wants. He just flies in, and we drive him here, and that's it. That's how we do it here at the Whiskey, because they don't take care of bands unless you're a big shot.
Yeah.
Shout out to them, right? So either way, I never got to see him. That's the end of that story. What a shame.
You know what, though?
HR, I still love you, bro, but Jesus, man.
A lot of people are going to probably know who they are or be familiar with them, because I feel like Bad Brains is one of these bands.
Now, like, they were underground as fuck until, like, you know, things blew up.
Nothing to do with their music, though. I think it's T-shirts.
Yeah, they have the lightning bolt on the Capitol. Yeah, I'm sure a lot of people have seen that.
I think shitloads of people have never heard the Misfits, but they've definitely seen the logo for. They might even have a fucking tattoo of it.
That is the so Monkey,
Psycho Realm and the Misfits, I believe, are the most tattooed and like band logos.
You know Monkey, right? The clown from the Addicts. You know the Addicts.
Yeah.
Okay, so that clown image, that's Monkey. He's a friend of mine. After that show, we kicked him more. Either way. He told me a story one time. He was at somebody's house, and without the makeup, he looks totally different. And they're just, partying or whatever they're doing. He doesn't really party much, so I don't know what he's doing. But either way, they were there. They were showing each other bad tattoos or something. And this guy's like, "Yeah, I got this stupid clown fucking tattoo. Check this shit out, bro." And he pulls it up, and he's just like, "Yeah, that's me." And he's like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "I'm in a band and I wear makeup or whatever." And he's like, "Nah, they didn't believe." He had to like pull it up in a book or on Google or whatever the fuck he did and show the guy. But isn't that funny? You never know how far logos will go. And since we're losing time here, I'll just move forward. One that changed me dramatically music-wise is a blues musician, John Lee Hooker. It's harder to say what record because since old blues really are just, they have, compilations. It's hard to find actual records from shit that old from like the 30s and the 40s.
Was that like one of the first kind of riffs you learned on the guitar?
No, like the first stuff was like
Iron Man?
Punk bands. Yeah, I think everybody starts with that. It went from punk bands into like metal. Smoke on the Water, yeah. Dun, dun, dun.
Brohim was, I think, one of the first songs I learned from Pennywise. But
there you go.
I digress.
So anyway, the story with John Lee Hooker, to keep it quick, I was pretty inebriated at a rehearsal studio. I was in a hardcore band.
For those that don't know, what does that mean?
You were drunk. Oh, cool. Just having a good time partying, stumbling through the halls and whatnot, and I walk outside to have a cigarette, and this guy was playing this. It was really cool. I was just like, "What is that?" And I walked up to the guy, and I was just like, "Yo, I need what is that? Let me write this." I always write shit down if I find something I like, and he wouldn't tell me. He's like, "It's just John Lee Hooker." He wouldn't tell me the song. He's like, "It really doesn't matter what you buy. Just go buy a record." Pressed him. He didn't tell me. That's the end of the story. So I went and bought one, and that was history from there. John Lee Hooker. It's my favorite blues artist. And for the last one, I guess what I would say is another dude. His name is Ali Farka. This dude is from Timbuktu, literally from Timbuktu in Africa, and it's just this like really sick African desert style music. It's just literally the most beautiful shit you've ever heard. I'll show you off camera. You're gonna have to look that up yourself. It's just
You're gonna have
amazing.
to figure out how to spell it.
It doesn't matter. You spell it wrong. It's Ali Farka Toure. Like it's fucking. I can do
Ali Farka Toure.
Yeah, you got it.
I feel like I'm learning a new fucking language when I say his name.
It's Ali, Ali Farka, Farka, and Toure, Toure. And there's nothing to say about that. It's just really amazing to step really outside of your spectrum. That's not listening to Bad Brains or like anything like that. It's really just completely different but beautiful.
Is it like a full band or is it just a dude?
It's just a dude. It's just a dude. Some records, it's just him on guitar singing old. You'd call it like African style folk, I guess. But then there's other ones where he's got like dudes in the background. These dudes like big ass dudes, but they're singing this really cool like hypnotic type shit. And then he's got other stuff with other people, and it moves on and on. So. Yeah,
I like it, dude.
It's really cool. We're gonna close it out, and then I don't know. Maybe after we close out, I might throw a few references because I guess we're out of time.
So you might have to. Okay, yeah. Well, hey,
might have to stop for now because I guess we're out of time.
Why not, man?
But hey, that's the one about music. Let us know if you like us doing a top 5, and we'll do it for other styles, other things, and we'll just keep this on the repertoire of episodes we do.
And also in the comments, leave your top 5 albums.
We'd like to hear them.
I'd love to hear them.
And any of your suggestions for us to do a top 5.
You could even link a video to make life easier so we could just click on them.
That'd be sick.
That'd be dope.
That'd help.
I'll link some stuff of what I talked about. We'll link some stuff you talked about in the video so you can check it out. Again, it's been an awesome time. Thank you for tuning in for the top 5 favorite albums.
Episode 8.
2 3
Jerid and Brian podcast. What up?
And that's it.
Peace.
And just like any good album, bonus songs.
Yeah, the one where you keep letting it play, and then they don't really do that anymore. But like 5 minutes in, there's another song, like on the Nirvana one at the end. If you've ever heard that, that's really sick.
Offspring Smash.
Yeah, they did that.
They have the intro for the next album, actually, Americana.
And at the end of Americana, don't they also do like a really cool version of like whatever hit they had?
I think they do.
They did something.
And then Green Day Dookie.
Yeah, Dookie has it.
Playing with myself.
Dude, the Nirvana one, though. Listen to the end of Nevermind. I think it's like fucking 10 minutes or something ridiculous. It is really, really good. They should have made that a song. What the fuck?
We should have made this a video, but it's not. It's just the bonus song.
Just bonus stuff. So I'm going to rack off a bunch of things that if you like this kind of stuff or if you don't, you should check it out. So for punk music, F-, like I mentioned. Choking Victim, which is Leftover Crack before Leftover Crack. Punk bands. They're just punk bands from New York. Super anti-establishment shit. And before all of that, it was no commercial value. So any one of those bands, Choking Victim, Leftover Crack,
like on YouTube?
Are no commercial value. What's dope about YouTube is before YouTube, you could not find anything about NCV, which is no commercial value. But now they actually have footage. Pretty tight. Violent Femmes. That's not considered punk. Fuck you. That is as punk as it gets. Those guys are badass. They don't give a shit, and that's punk if you ask me. Super old Refused. Refused is badass as fuck, and I already recommended them. Go as far back as you can. That shit's crazy. AC4, which is the singer for Refused, Dennis Leekson. He has a side band, AC4. That should be recognized as well. Bad Brains I already mentioned, so I'll move forward. Some Action. It's the last punk band I'm going to mention. Band called Some Action. They were around for like a year in New York.
S-O-M-E or S-O-M?
S-O-M-E,
cool.
And then Action. Really hard to look up.
A-X-I-O-N or Action?
No, yeah, A-C-T-I-O-N. Okay. Really, 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 really sick punk band. I can't reiterate enough how badass that is. Moving forward, heavier kind of stuff, and it's a little mixed, but Norma Jean, if you haven't heard of them, they're fucking badass. Suicide Silence, crazy good. The singer died. And they got another singer who's also really badass.
How he died? Killed himself?
I don't know how he died. No, I think a car accident or something like that.
It was a joke. Isn't the band called Suicide?
No, I get it. But yeah, Suicide Silence.
Touchy subject.
It depends. Faceless. Extremely mathematical stuff.
Bonus, Face to Face.
That's one too?
That's one of mine. Yeah, I'm just going to throw one out. Face to Face.
Hey,
they don't make music anymore. But Disconnected got to be one of the best pop punk songs of all times. Afterwards, my age again. Keep going.
Arsenics get all the girls. Super bad. They're not around
anymore.
They do.
They love fire.
They're a surf metal band is what they call themselves. They're fucking amazing. The
surf and turf.
First time I ever saw them, they're playing. They're just fucking going crazy. Hair everywhere. They're fucking going crazy. And then they just
like on their body?
Hair everywhere, bro.
I like that.
They were going crazy.
I'd take my shirt off at their concert. I would take my shirt off at that concert.
I did. We all did. You weren't there if you didn't. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But anyway, they stopped their crazy badass thing. They stopped. Fucking the bass player slaps the singer. Singer spits in the bass player's face, and they just keep going. I just thought that was like the most random shit I ever saw. But they were amazing, aside from the shtick of spitting on each other. Blood Brothers. It's not really heavy, like metal kind of stuff, but Blood Brothers.
It sounds
is
light.
Amazing.
Don't sound very heavy.
They're fucking really good. And they're a big ass band. Folly is.
Oh yeah, that's.
They used to be like a ska band, like sick ska, and then they turned into like a fucking hardcore band with like little bits of ska. Look them up, look that shit up. Moving forward, Horse the band. They were a local band. They were from around here. I used to skate with the bass player's kid brother, Val. What's up, Val? But Horse the band was sick. They were called Nintendo Core because they had like Nintendo sounds and that shit.
Dude, I had a mushroom trip one time, and we were playing DC Comics versus like Stan Lee superhero or DC versus what's the other one?
There's DC. Detective Comics.
No.
Marvel?
What's Marvel? DC versus Marvel. And dude, the keyboard music they got in this game. Dude, the music they had, bro. I was tripping. I called everybody in my phone book and told them, or everybody in my phone, I was like, dude, you got to come over right now and play this video game with us. The music is tripping me out. I was leaving messages on people's phones. I even called my mom. And after that day, I took my mom out of my phone book. I was like, out of my phone. I was like,
don't call your mom.
Oops. You know what I'm saying? My mom doesn't care about their song when I'm streaming. Nah.
Cool.
Nah, I wish. It'd be cool. I wouldn't mind a flashback of, and if anyone, if you played that game, leave a comment about it.
Leave a comment.
Who's your favorite character to play with? What's your favorite song?
Favorite character, favorite song, #. Moving on, blues, John Lee Hooker. I already rapped about that dude. Look him up. Charlie Patton. This dude is from the 20s, singing super old school, super like depressing but badass style.
Old school for 1920 or relevant blues in the 20s?
No, old school for 1920. This is like kind of plantation style shit
like
from like the 1800s.
17th century shit.
No, 1800s style shit.
Well, that's the 17th century.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, yes, you're right. Really sick, really sick. Big Bill Bronzy, super political
Yeah,
style.
fucking wrestler.
Yeah, one time my friend was like, "Hey, play that guy, Big Booze and Bob, or whatever it is." It was really funny when he said it. But Big Bill Bronzy was like political, talking about like equality and shit like that. Really old stuff, but really dope. Furry Lewis is an all-time favorite. Have you ever heard that line? Been down so long, it seems like up to me. The Doors did it in that one song. That one rap dude did it for a second. This dude wrote it like...
I'm looking at your list, Pimp. I thought each highlight was an artist.
No.
And you had notes about that artist.
No.
It's not.
No.
Each highlight...
I'm going to do it quicker.
...is a genre.
Yes.
I'm going to assume every band is fucking sick.
Okay, so I'm going to do it quick then. Here we go. You ready?
Because, yeah, like
you and everyone else will be fine. You'll be fine. Mississippi John Hurt. I will mention that changed the way I thought about guitar playing. Blind Willie McTell. Tommy Johnson, Slim Harpo, Robert Johnson, and Elmore James. Super sick. Hip hop, Mos Def, Tribe Called Quest, Big L.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace. Method Man, Redman, Wu-Tang, Busta Rhymes, Missy Elliott, The Roots, The Fugees, Erykah Badu. These are just some tops.
Nah, all they got to do is go buy it. Now that's what I call Music Volume 5. Nah. And they'll hear all those people besides Big L possibly and Wu-Tang.
Maybe. Mos Def though. That's my favorite one. Just side ones at the drive-in.
Those are all pretty highly noted.
Sure.
Known
artists. I'm throwing it in
I'm just saying on punk, you guys so deep. I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, that's fun. That's fun. At the drive-in, The Hives, The Strokes, International Noise Conspiracy, and Plague Vendor.
What kind of music was that? Indie?
What? No, that was just, I don't know where they go. So I just mentioned them. For classical music, yeah, we're doing it. Arnold Bax, Frederick Chopin, Franz Liszt, Antonin Dvorak, Philip Glass, Tchaikovsky, Claude Debussy, Franz Schubert, Bach,
the music's
and
coming
Brahms.
on. The music's coming on. He's giving his speech. No, fuck that. I get 5 more minutes.
I'm doing it. We can edit it later. Ollie Farkatori, Amadou and Miriam. This is like the African style music.
Amadou and Miriam?
Amadou and Miriam. They're super sick. I saw them once too out here.
It sounds like Amadou and Miriam.
Nah, it's a husband and wife. They've been doing it forever. Lady Smith, Black Mambazo. You know the Wima Wet shit? They sued over that like 30 years ago. It's just a bunch of dudes singing. It's some like acapella African shit.
We used to call that weenie whack. And then like in the bedroom, the mighty bedroom, Lorena gets a knife. Weenie whack, weenie whack.
It was actually a hunting song.
Am I gonna get sued by these people?
It's a hunting song, going back into primitive shit that they used to sing when they were going into hunting for lions. They would sing about that, which is in the jungle. The lions.
And we used to sing about hunting for dick.
Sometimes you got to. Depends.
Only on days that end in Y.
Batida. That's just some dope shit. James Brown, the BJs, Bobby Bird, George Clinton, Zapp and Roger. Listen to that shit. For electrical shit, Oliver, Square Pusher, Tribe Called Red, which these are like super influential like hip hop style shit, and they are Native American, and they put Native American chanting over like hip hop beats that they produce. Super sick.
The Booyah Tribe? Is that who you're talking about?
No, Tribe Called Red.
Gotcha.
They're super dope. Hermitude, and then for alternative stuff, Midlake, Best Coast, The Walkmen, and Golden Shoulders. Hey man, anybody who's bored enough looking on,
I would love
should look this shit up.
I would love it. Here's a challenge. I have a challenge.
You got a challenge?
I got a challenge for the viewers. Listen to an album from every single artist you just named.
An album from every artist?
An album.
Or an album from one
It's a challenge. I mean, damn, it wouldn't be a challenge. Listen to one song.
Fair enough.
Listen to a whole album and tell us how long did it take you. We'll give you time. The video will be on YouTube forever for you to comment on. I would love to know how long it would take someone to really dive into all those bands. And I think they should.
Well, I'm hoping they take the challenge. I'm hoping catches someone. For ska, I'm almost done. Specials, the Slackers, Chris Murray. That's a homie. What's up, Chris? Hepcat,
what up, Chris?
Desmond Decker, Danny Livingston, and the Ethiopians. For reggae, Peter Tosh over Bob Marley, but Bob Marley as well. Ika Mouse, Gregory Isaacs, the Wailers, the original Wailers, like before it was Bob Marley and the Wailers. Toots and the Midals, who's just as influential, but didn't make it quite as big here in the States. And Sister Nancy. What's up, Sister Nancy?
That was actually one of our songs, Toots and the Maytals with Ben Harper.
Dude, Toots and the Maytals is fucking dope. I saw them live once for free at the pier. For classic rock, if you like that shit.
That's why they probably didn't break through over here, dude. They gotta, you don't want to be the band.
Songs.
You don't want to be the band that's free all the time. In America, we got to pay for something to like it,
Possibly.
It's a weird thing, bro.
They're dope,
People don't appreciate free in America sometimes.
It happens.
It is what it is.
Deep Purple, Steppenwolf, The Animals, Jethro Tull, Mountain.
Jethro Tull, the first band to ever win a heavy metal Grammy.
I had heard about that.
Over Metallica.
People talk
and
shit
the motherfucker plays flutes.
People talk shit, but if you see him, that dude goes balls.
Well, yeah, but I mean, James Brown is badass, but I wouldn't give him, best rap album.
I don't know. The BJs, dude, pass the P's, more P's. That shit is pimp, dude. All right, moving on. Rockabilly, Carl Perkins, Reverend Horton Heat, The Meteors, Stray Cats, and Wanda Jackson. Jazz, and we're almost done. Hank Mobley, Herbie Hancock, Charlie Parker, John Coltrane, Benny Goodman, Miles Davis, Django Reinhardt, and Dave Brubeck.
Anyone this deep, bro, wants to hear way more. Don't worry about it.
No.
Anyone here?
Bro, you started talking about music? You know that's all I do, bro.
Anyone that's still here wants you to go on for another hour.
Music? Okay. American oldies. Nat King Cole, Dean Martin, Louis Prima, Roy Orbison, Tony Bennett, Etta James, The Supremes, and Fats Domino. I'm done after this. Mexican oldies. One of my favorite things to listen to is Los Tres Diamantes. Super badass. If you don't listen to anything, listen to them. Los Panchos, and there's a million versions. Like Dos Los Panchos or Los Tres Panchos, there's a million, but they're all dope. Vicente Fernandez and Jose Alfredo Jimenez. And then all that aside, listen to psychedelic cumbia. Just look up psychedelic cumbia. That's it, man. I could have done more, but I'm trying to be respectful. You know what I'm saying?
Dude. I like it.
It's a lot. But, I mean, it's a YouTube video.
How about this, since we're already here? Could you name your top 3, if you were to go on a deserted island, or deserted planet, and you could only bring 3 musicians' work, could you name one of those 3?
Musicians' work as in a single album or their discography?
Catalog.
Their catalog? Oli Farkatori, for sure. That's really hard. I would probably do John Lee Hooker as the other one. And then, shit, dude. I don't even know.
Look at that, man.
Maybe the Slackers. Dude, I play the Slackers like crazy all the time.
Well, there you go.
I guess those would be my 3.
They got everything. If you're a music fan, this is the episode that you didn't even know you were waiting for.
You didn't even know.
That you got.
Comment more.
Let's just
keep it going,
The chef came out to the table and put down something you didn't even know you wanted to eat. And you order it every time now,
Tons of it.
Bro. Well, hey.
This has been really fun.
Bonus song.
Thank you for letting me rant.
Boom. Thank you for ranting.